Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. In this video, I'm going to share with you my personal opinion having to do with the topic of XRP hitting a new all-time high and entering a new realm of price discovery. And I feel like if more people knew what I believe to be truth anyway, it's my personal opinion, but I believe it firmly to be the truth. I feel like if more people knew this idea, that there would be a lot less emotional buying and selling. I really strongly believe that. Because, look, emotions are the worst thing to use to determine whether or not to buy pretty much anything in life, especially when you're talking about important investments, though, in stocks or in crypto markets. Man, no, this is not the way to go about this. And so what got me thinking along these lines was this article, which wasn't even about XRP, and I'm not going to read any of them. Maybe I'll read the top part of it just so you can get an idea of why I started thinking the way I was, but I don't really want to read the article to you. But it was from the Daily Hodl. This was titled, "Prominent Trader Says Crypto Bull Market Still Intact Even If Bitcoin and Ethereum Drop to These Levels." So I want to run through that, and I also have a couple additional stories beyond that, though. There's this one from Decrypt. SEC plan for Bitcoin ETFs is like favoring one child over another, says Grayscale CEO. And I want to bring this up because it's on the topic of what I would categorize as, I'll be as nice as possible, as I'll say potential SEC corruption. Now, I believe that there's a lot of corruption, just what we've seen with the SEC versus Ripple case, the favoring of Ethereum, the way that the SEC chose to attack Ripple and XRP, harming investors. A lot of nonsense going on there. And so here, there's potentially something, and I'll explain why I'm saying that. And then I'll wrap the video up with this article, which I just found genuinely fascinating. It's also from the Daily Hodl. Man faces 15 years in jail for allegedly installing 46 Bitcoin and crypto miners inside government building. Oh yeah, you're going to have a bad time if you start acting a fool like that. Such shenanigans. But look, before I go any further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a legal or financial background of any kind. I am not offering legal or financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who makes YouTube videos, but purely as a hobby. So I'm happy to share my personal opinions on this topic, but they are just that, unprofessional opinions. So I don't want anyone to think that I'm pretending to be some sort of internet guru or something like that. There's enough fake internet gurus out there. No, thank you. That is not who I am here. And so I'll read you just the very top portion of this Daily Hodl article so you can see why I started going the direction that I am, and that'll explain exactly what I'm talking about pertaining to XRP, because really, this is the message that I think people need to hear. It really is, about XRP hitting new all-time highs. But here's how the article reads. A top trader and crypto analyst says that Bitcoin and Ethereum could dip well below current prices and still be fully in a bull market. What's that price go down? Are we still in a bull market, Moon Lambo? Yes, in fact, that is the case. That's what Moon Lambo is saying here. The pseudonymous crypto trader, known as Kaleo, tells his 279,000 followers that while some crypto assets look vulnerable on lower time frame charts, the long-term bullish picture still remains intact. Kaleo says a sizable dip for Ethereum reaching close to the $2,000 level wouldn't mark the end of the bull cycle. And here's a quote. Ether accumulation down to the mid to low 2000 range doesn't mean the bull run is over at all. And so look, here's the deal. Like XRP price drops, and please hear me on this. XRP price drops do not mean that XRP won't hit a new all-time high and enter price discovery. XRP was at about $2 in April of this year. Then it dropped nearly 75% down to about, the lowest I remember seeing anyway, was 52 cents. And then back up to, what is it as I record this? It is $1.08 as I record this. So from $2 to 52 cents to $1.08. Hear me, please hear me. None of this is an indicator of whether or not XRP will hit new all-time highs and go parabolic. None of it. None of it matters. This is something that the people new to crypto desperately need to learn this. And the people that have been in crypto for a while deserve to be reminded of it because it's useful. It's a useful reminder. All of the price action that's occurred ever since the XRP bubble popped near $4 in early 2018 functionally doesn't matter. None of the insane moves up and down should be read as an indicator of whether or not XRP is going to hit new highs. 0% of the price action has anything to do with whether or not XRP will hit new all-time highs. None of it, like literally 0% of it, indicates that. You can't look at any of that data and say yes or no it will happen. It's not. It is not how this works. And so for me, you can be like, okay, well then why do you think that XRP is going to hit new all-time highs? Because the market moves in tandem, and the market has been moving upward, trending upward for over 12 years, despite sometimes pullbacks of over 90%. Despite that. And it's like humans are still acting the same today, right? And so anything that's happening in between, it is not an indication in and of itself as to whether or not so it's my bet that we're going to enter a new realm of price discovery. None of what's happening in terms of price action right now is an indication of that, though. None of it. Literally none of it. And I don't think people get that. But it is true. So look, XRP peaked on January 4th, 2018. That's when it hit its all-time high of $3.92. That's the high according to Live Watch anyway. And so people need to understand that all of the price volatility after that date, after it hit its all-time high, and I do mean all of it, has nothing to do with long-term viability, because if people can understand that, and this is why it's important, they can remove emotion from their decision-making process. That's why it's so crucial to understand this. Absolutely crucial. And so if I'm right, and none of the price action in between now and hitting the all-time high matters, you might ask the question, well, when will uncertainty present itself in your mind, Moon Lambo? When are we going to enter the unknown? Well, the answer is not until XRP enters price discovery, which means after new all-time high is hit. And it doesn't mean it can't dip below. Like, once a new all-time high is hit, it doesn't mean it can't go back below that again, but the previous all-time high. Like, yeah, of course, yeah. It can, and it very well may. I don't know, but that stuff happens. But yeah, so that's when we're at the question mark level. Because at that point, we don't know how high it's going to go. But my bet has been the same ever since that bubble popped in early 2018, which is quite simply that we are going to enter that new realm of price discovery. But none of this has to do with fundamentals. None of it has to do with the long-term viability of XRP. This has to do with the frenzy around the asset class. That's what it right now. And I care about fundamentals, but the rest of the market doesn't. And so I'm noticing that the rest of the market doesn't give a damn, even though I do. And I'm responding accordingly. My expectations are in line with reality as a result of how I'm seeing the irrational humans behave. That's what I'm doing. That's how I'm responding to all of this here. But that's why I'm saying, like, all the people that are in the nitty gritty, especially if you're new to this, like, you gotta realize, like, none of this, it doesn't matter one tiny little bit, not in the least here. And I know that people are losing sleep over all of this, the ups and downs. And I gotta tell you, I've been in XRP since roughly the middle of November of 2017, so almost 4 years. I've been through every bit of volatility since then. I've never sold one single XRP. And that's because I believe what I'm saying. Now, I'm right or I'm wrong, and we're going to find out. I really believe I'm right. But the reason that I sleep easy and none of this actually bothers me when we see price action to the downside is because I have very strong conviction that my position on this is absolutely accurate. And so you decide whether or not you think that makes sense. I'm not telling you to buy or sell or hold anything, but what I am saying is my personal opinion is that all of the volatility we've been experiencing ever since the bubble popped on January 4th of 2018, everything since then doesn't matter. Either my bet is right that we do see a new all-time high and enter price discovery, or we don't. But all this in between, when things go down, it's not like there's an imminent fear. Like, think about this. XRP's been around, traded in market since 2008 to 2013. So if you're new to crypto, it may feel like it's teeter-tottering the edge. Oh my gosh, is it suddenly going to go to zero? No, after 8 years, it's not suddenly just going to go to zero, especially given that we're trending upward and XRP's part of the market. It's just, it all moves in tandem. No, the answer is no, that's not going to happen. That's what I firmly believe. So take it for what it's worth, but it's a very simple concept, but I don't think most people get that. They feel like the daily gyrations do matter. It does make them feel emotions. But I'm saying it doesn't matter, and it shouldn't make anyone feel emotions because it's not logical. Exactly. It's not logical, it's emotion. That's exactly what I'm saying here. Gosh. And anyway, into the next piece now. SEC plan for Bitcoin ETF is like favoring one child over another, says Grayscale CEO. In August, Securities and Exchange Commission Chair Gary Gensler suggested the agency might finally open the door to a Bitcoin ETF, exchange-traded fund, a move that would make it easy for investors to buy the cryptocurrency in the form of a stock and increase overall liquidity for Bitcoin. By the way, that's not quite precise. I would not have worded it like that. It's not people purchasing cryptocurrency in the form of a stock. You'd be purchasing a fund that is representative of cryptocurrency, but you don't have any ownership or rights to the underlying asset. That would be the fund operator that actually holds that. So you have, it really is, I mean, it's a stock. Like, you can trade it. It could be traded on the New York Stock Exchange or whatever. That's where the ETF would live. But so I don't think that's quite precise enough. So I know I'm kind of like parsing words a bit here, but it's, I don't know, details matter, right? And then the article continues. But his comment came with a catch. In his remarks, which came at a summit in Aspen, Gensler said the SEC was particularly looking forward to reviewing ETFs limited to CME-traded Bitcoin futures. And so in plain English, this could mean that the SEC is likely to give a green light to ETF applications tied to the futures market, synthetic contracts tied to a future price rather than actual quantities of Bitcoin, rather than applications for ETFs backed directly by Bitcoin. Which, by the way, I think is silly, because like the futures market, it's based on the underlying assets anyway. So that to me just seems completely irrational. But that's what Gensler thinks makes sense. So okay. Anyway, Gensler's remarks frustrated and puzzled many in the crypto world, which has been waiting for a Bitcoin ETF for years, even as regulators in other countries, including Canada and Europe, have long since approved one. That's like favoring one child over another, said Michael Sonnenshein, CEO of crypto giant Grayscale, which first applied for a Bitcoin ETF in 2016 and controls billions of dollars of Bitcoin through the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. And so I wanted to just friendly reminder here, for those of you that may have missed this, Jay Clayton, former SEC chair, just look at the headline, says it all here. After rejecting Bitcoin ETFs, former SEC chair Clayton joins fight for approval. And so he joined a hedge fund named One River Asset Management, and now he's in the game. He wants to, it's monetarily beneficial for him apparently. Now he wants to have their ETF approved after he denied ETF after ETF for year after year after year. And so I just wanted to say, if their ETF gets approved first, Sonnenshein, first of all, he'd be correct. It's like favoring one child over another. But it'd also be so incestuous and so clearly corrupt if that happens, right? Like, would there be any doubt in anyone's mind that would be pure corruption if this fund is the first one to get approved? And I'm not even saying that they shouldn't ever get approved. There's probably multiple funds that get approved, but I'm just saying if they get the head start here, the answer is no. Like, So hopefully that doesn't happen, because that would just be disgusting to me, but that's just my personal opinion on it. Now into the last piece from the Daily Huddle. This is interesting. Man faces 15 years in jail for allegedly installing 46 Bitcoin and crypto miners inside government building. A man may end up behind bars for 15 years after he was allegedly caught mining Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies inside the county center in Riverhead, New York. The Associated Press reports that Christopher Naples, an IT operations supervisor at the county clerk's office, is facing charges for public corruption, grand larceny, and computer trespass for secretly installing 46 crypto miners inside the government building. The 42-year-old, an employee of the county for over 2 decades, allegedly placed the devices in 6 rooms, hiding them in locations like unused electrical wall panels and underneath floorboards. He's crafty, right? Authorities say that some of the machines had been in place since February. Suffolk County District Attorney Timothy Senni, or Sine, I don't know how to say it, says that Naples' scheme cost the public coffers at least $6,000 in electricity bills. So, like, I'll just tell you how this initially struck me. $6,000 in electricity bills. Yes, it's disgusting what this guy did. He stole from taxpayers. I got that. But I will say, and this is just how it strikes me on the surface, which means it doesn't mean a whole lot, but I just thought I'd share how it struck me. Because I'm willing to be persuaded on this. Like I don't have a legal background of any kind. I don't know what the norm is for something like this, especially if it's within a government building. But I'm looking at $6,000 in electricity bills, which that's money. That's something. But damn, 15 years for $6,000? Like, I'm just being honest with you. Like, that struck me as a bit hard. We'll see if that happens, but maybe it could still be less. I understand, but if it ends up being 15 years, it's just the way it struck me initially. And maybe if I sat down with whoever is, going in that direction, maybe they'd persuade me, and there may be some very rational reasons for that. So I'm not firm on that. I'm just saying that was the initial reaction. That's all I mean. But damn, $6,000 and then you're in jail for 15 years? Damn. And so here's a quote now. Mining cryptocurrency requires an enormous amount of resources, and miners have to navigate how to cover all of those electricity and cooling costs. Naples found a way to do it. Unfortunately, it was on the back of taxpayers. And that's the end of that quote. And so Sine, I don't know how to say it, also says that Naples had placed so many miners inside the building that several employees were complaining about the slow internet speed, and when miners were removed from one room, the temperature dropped by more than 20 degrees. That's freaking crazy. And here's one final quote. Not only do we have thousands of dollars of taxpayer money funding this operation, but it also put the country's infrastructure at risk. And so that may be part of the unknown. Like, in reading that, it's like, that's why if it's part of a government building and there are other considerations, that would make sense. I'm just saying if it were purely because of $6,000, that seems like way overkill. If there are other serious risks that this guy, put the country, whatever, or the county in, yeah, that would be a separate consideration, and maybe that penalty is not too harsh. Then in that case, I don't know. I'm just saying on the surface, it sounded a little bit much, honestly here. But my grandpappy's onto something. My grandpappy used to say. He used to say, "People are no damn good." Sage wisdom, grandpappy, sage wisdom. I am not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.